into the crowd.
Creepy.
All right, so just quick by way of introduction. So we've got Javier over here.
Javier.
And we've got Germball here. And then this is Michael. So first episode we're going to talk about, and I just titled it, for lack of a better phrase, just why the fuck not. So the main topic here is with the, and it's not, it started before, but obviously with COVID and now the big flare up with race, but you've started to see Hollywood is making an attempt to bring at least better
Role models.
Role models, that's the word I was looking for the black community and for the Hispanic community and all communities. Right. Whereas before, again, I'm going to probably show my suburban white guy upbringing, but Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society,
Blood Out.
These are fucking movies that I grew up seeing, and I'm like, holy, that was really I didn't have that many black friends.
Right.
A couple in high school, but not a whole lot. But you hear, it makes you think, good God, I'll never go to California. I wouldn't survive a day, right? But it's all propaganda, it's all bullshit. It was all, there was a message that they were trying to get across.
Right.
But also, if that's all that they're putting out,
right?
There is.
What are the kids on the farm supposed to?
What are they supposed to say?
Totally.
Or think, or whatever.
Right.
And then they're getting fed the same kind of, reinforced the same thing
on the news,
by the news, by their people, their crowd,
class.
Their school that they go to.
Right.
And I can't even imagine being a person of color, having to sit in a classroom and listen to this bullshit that's being taught. And,
totally.
And it's taught a totally different thing that they're hearing, because I'm just now discovering that.
The reality.
The realities that they've taught their kids, and that's the only where they could learn it, because it wouldn't get taught in the school.
Right, and that's the question. Like, did you at your house was a different history taught than the history at school was taught?
In my house, you know what I mean?
There's more activists.
Like my dad was, my dad was like more pro Chicano, more down for the brown, you know what I mean? But then again, had a white old lady, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was what, but I grew up like that, and then the shit in school, to be honest with you, I never fucking paid attention.
Yeah.
Like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I had straight F's through the whole shit, and they just passed me to high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At any point, was there any kind of like counselor intervention, teacher that pulled you aside and said, "Hey, man"?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There was no help there, because I mean, the neighborhood I grew up in was predominantly Mexican.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, Chicano. But I mean, there was, growing up in Pueblo, we didn't see a lot of black people there either. Like, we lived in a town where it was just straight fucking Mexican and white people.
Yeah.
And maybe there was a black family. There was a couple black families.
Yeah. I mean, I had probably 2 or 3 black cats that I hung out with throughout my, maybe 4 throughout my whole,
Like, I wish there would have been more, so we could have been taught more about the oppression of the black person. You know what I mean? Because I didn't start hearing about shit like that until the movie Malcolm X came out.
Right. Fuck yeah, dude, that was a huge thing.
You know what I mean?
I still think about how much Malcolm X, even on my way driving over here today, I was on some Malcolm X in my head, some black and white, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not white. And you know what I mean? And you're not a shade of brown is what you are. That's what I am, dude.
Yeah.
And like this whole thing of how just throughout our whole lives, dude, there's been a white good and a black bad and a good and evil thing just beating into our heads, whether that's reality or not. You know what I mean? That was a huge thing, that movie, to me.
Yeah, and that's what I wish that would have been around more. Like, when I was younger.
Sure.
Yeah, like, I wish my dad would have talked. Well, he knew it, but I mean, I'm sure he was just like, it doesn't matter right now.
Right.
In their head, it was like, we're paying fucking rent. You're eating every night. You're going to school. You don't worry about a fucking thing.
We got our own struggle. We're trying to
sure. And I wished I would have learned more, and I would have picked up more books and read more. Because when I got to prison, that's when I started learning more about, who's who and what's what, and what we've been through, and what the blacks have been through, and and even the whites. You know what I mean? You guys have been through some shit too. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, the Irish,
the Irish,
the Irish. That's what I mean. Yeah, the Irish.
Right.
But still,
but
it was used in a way that, yes, the Irish were repressed, but then they were put in charge as the policemen.
Right.
That then
The
were
over-
able to oppress.
so, right.
I mean, Officer Friendly coming up,
They
hey
gave
there,
him that
young
little
kid,
bit of-
popping him on the head with his billy club,
Yeah.
or whatever. And
Just some carrots,
so
huh?
still, this race being pitted against this one,
Right.
and an authority
They
over
keep
them
it
to
inside of that, right? Keep you battling.
And that couldn't have been by mistake.
No,
Couldn't have been.
that's by design.
Yes.
And that's what's weird because like I was always raised with like a fucked up feeling, like the black girl I wanted to kiss over there,
Yeah.
like it was wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was
That
instilled
wasn't
in my
allowed,
head, like
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
allowed. Like
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though I'm Mexican and we're both brown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was for some reason it was still fucking beating my head that's
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
The whites stay with the whites, the blacks stay with the blacks, the Mexicans stay with
Right.
the Mexicans.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like
And even how hard it would be, even if like you did step, you know what I mean? Because even on her side, it was probably kind of
yeah.
You don't mess with that Mexican boy. He's
Right. You bring that shit home, you're
Yeah.
not coming home anymore,
Right.
right? Like, and I think, especially in your youth, dude, you're I think all parents are obviously probably pretty new at what they're
Yeah.
doing, and they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But you know what I mean?
they do
This was
stupid shit,
this was
so-
elementary school.
right,
Sure.
right, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I was a shorty
Right,
then. You know what I mean? Like I was.
But that was already in your head.
It was already. I shouldn't even have had thoughts like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I should have just whatever and did it. You know what I mean?
I remember in elementary school, dude. I had two black homies, and the big monkey bar dome, like the
Oh, yeah,
Buckmaster
yeah.
Fuller.
Oh yeah.
desk,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Absolutely.
like it had some kind of weird padding underneath, and this was 80 late 70s, early 80s,
Right.
and so like breakdancing was it right there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So we'd be in the middle of that dome, like breakdancing, and them kids knew it already.
Yeah.
They had skills at it already. You know what I mean? So they were already on this. To me, they were already cool, way cooler than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was way before, hip hop or,
Right.
or anything.
And rap
like-
battle and
yeah,
those kind of things,
in
yeah.
my mind anyway.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I always put on a pedestal already. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, damn, you got way more style and.
Well, and that's an interesting point. So so now what we're getting to is we're getting movies that are revealing, that are showing and promoting, hey, this is the Green Book.
Right.
Okay, I don't know
right.
if you guys have seen that.
I haven't seen it. I know the
About a classical pianist,
Yeah.
classical pianist, and this was in the 50s, 60s, and he traveled
Right.
to people's houses,
Right.
very wealthy white people's houses, and played all night long.
Yeah.
That would be
but
the
you could
entertainment.
Stay there.
There's a scene in it when he asked to go to the bathroom, and the dude says, "Yeah, it's about 15 minutes down the way. You should be able to make it back before, because it was like in between sets,
Yeah.
or whatever." He goes, "Yeah, you ought to be able to make it back. If you hurry, you might be able to make it back in time for
Before
the
your
next
second
set."
set.
Yeah.
He's
And
like,
it's
why would I come back
Are
at
you,
all?
what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've heard about Jim Crow. They glossed over it in
yeah.
the high school text just to get through it and claim
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they did.
Right.
But I had no idea
I
there was that kind
I
of
have
stuff.
no recollection of Jim Crow South in my history
Really?
classes, and not
Yeah.
that I was your number one payer of attention or whatever, but I
Yeah.
have no recollection of that.
And see, the beauty of that movie, not that I'm promoting this movie, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen plays his Italian driver.
Uh-huh.
So I want to say they're in New York maybe, or New Jersey, and that's how he gets hooked up with him.
Yeah.
is He's looking for protection, and he's looking for a
he
driver.
needs
because
a hard
he's
guy,
got a
right.
tour taking him
Yeah,
down
yeah,
through
yeah.
the South. So he calls on this, or he hears about him, calls him over, and when he comes to his house, it's like a museum.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because he's paid very well
Right.
to play his piano.
Right.
And so he, has a very nice
He's a
play. Anyway,
professional entertainer.
Vigo's looking at him like, afraid to touch anything and freaking out because he's got, lower middle class.
Yeah, Italian dude or whatever,
family.
right?
But right from the beginning, he didn't give a shit. It's a job.
Right.
If you're black, I don't care.
Right, totally.
I'm here to do.
Right.
And but it's a really kind of it's heartwarming, but it's also it exposed me to a lot of stuff that I was, and I'm not gonna say. So here's the big confession. It's not like it's a big mystery. I could have read books. I probably could have
Exposed
done my own
yourself.
research and
Right,
exposed
right.
myself. But I had other things on my mind. And
Right.
other places.
And
so,
again, just like Hop was saying, we all have our daily struggles that don't have to do with somebody else's struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though you do have a certain amount of give because of your skin color. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
still have to get your bills paid and shit. You
Sure.
know what I mean? But dude, on the same kind of tip, and not to go on about movies or whatever, but that new Cthulhu show on
Lovecraft County.
yeah.
Yes.
Have you watched any of it?
I've watched, I think, the first 3 or 4 episodes.
I just
pretty wild stuff.
I
Yeah.
just watched the first one, but it definitely has to do with the Green
Oh
Book
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that first episode when they stopped the sundown town and
Right,
you
yeah.
did literally follow them and catch them in the woods.
And
Yeah.
have the other guys on the other side.
For sure.
But that one joint, there's actually I think 2 joints in Pueblo that were in the Green Book, right? I think Downbeat on
Simmons?
yeah.
Really?
Really?
That's interesting.
That was in what, Route or Evans? Evans, and I believe that hotel, and then I could be bullshitting you on this one, but I believe that hotel that they filmed Vacation at
Oh, Coronado up on Lake?
on Lake. I think that was also in it.
Really?
I think that was a spot, but I know. That
Oh, yeah, because dude went and played the piano at Simmons Downbeat, you know?
Yeah,
Is that what you
yeah,
meant?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shit.
cool.
Hey, that bar was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that bar was, you used to be able to get 40 ounces of Old English in there. Like, I was a kid, and people would go in and buy them on Sunday because you couldn't buy liquor here
Sure,
on
you can
Sunday.
get them, man.
Yeah.
But there was a little house in the back behind it.
Yeah,
Nice.
Whew.
right,
You could probably get anything you want.
Right.
They were shooting dice in the front, like, all the time.
but it
Nice.
was a music place, dude.
Yeah.
Right? They
Big
pulled,
music place.
Yeah, and they probably had, to our ignorance, probably some of the best.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
blues
sure.
and jazz.
I'm sure
and,
BB King's been through there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure because BB King was always going through Pueblo and this
Right.
and that.
Really?
Back
You know,
then, yeah.
that's cool though because that black not culture but
Community.
community. You know what I mean? They seem like that was held together in my neighborhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm from that neighborhood. I'm from
Yeah,
They
Bessemer.
had to. I mean,
And that
what
was,
was,
you
what
know-
was the option?
Right.
And they'd always have Juneteenth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And you know the good thing about them was no lie. Was we didn't fuck with them like on Cinco de Mayo when they came to the park or whatever.
Right.
So like Juneteenth when they were giving away free fucking plates of barbecue and shit, like they were more like we were more than welcome.
You
know
were
what I
all
mean?
part of the community.
Yeah, we were all part of the
It was
community.
all about eating together as
Yeah.
a community. You were all part
Yeah.
of the same, right? For
Yeah.
sure.
It was like one minority, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
It was more of a class thing, not a race thing,
Yeah.
which it should be all,
Yeah.
all fucking day,
It
right?
should be. Yeah.
Nobody looked at each other as like, oh,
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody messed with nobody.
You're my
Everybody was
neighbor.
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
I mean, everybody, you know. But
Right.
and that was my story.
Yeah,
no,
for
absolutely. It's legit.
Yeah.
So, again, with now this new exposure to these things that have been in the past and being brought to movies and being brought to, and having, again, positive role models, there are people that are
Hate
feeling
it.
threatened by this.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
feel like
It's so
that
fun,
this is going to ruin America.
Right.
And it's like, what?
It's so funny,
How
like
could it be any worse?
Like we were
It
talking
already is.
about, the people that dish it out are always the ones that can't
Yeah,
take it.
sure.
You know what I mean? And it's so fucked up, dude. Like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why? Why
Yeah.
is that so
and,
scary?
you know, and the thing that's putting it out so much is social media.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just
Sure.
magnified.
Yeah, because I mean, I got friends that are on Facebook that are on this team,
Yeah, sure.
and got people that are on this side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's constant. There's
Bicker,
you go through
bicker.
the comments, and I'm going through people's shit like, and I'm hearing this. Oh yeah, Trump this that.
Right.
Then there's somebody in the comments. Oh, you're an idiot. And blah blah blah
sure.
blah. And then it just starts at fucking
But-
70 comments later. You know?
Yeah, but nobody's reading anybody's shit, or
No,
they're
they're just reacting.
and they're just talking shit.
Yeah.
They're not like, let me make a viable point
Yeah.
based in reality. You know, it's
Sure.
always on some, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're a
Name call,
Nazi.
it always
Yeah,
comes
it's
down.
always like name call.
Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Back and forth, and it's like, no, you're all poor. You're all poorer than
Broke
these
as fuck.
motherfuckers.
And
And
you're
we-
angry and you're frustrated,
Right.
and,
And you're-
the only person you feel like you can lash out at is this guy who's
Right.
in the same fucking boat as you,
Totally.
guy.
Totally. It's like let's holler at somebody else for
That's
shit, man.
right. Let's redirect it
Right.
in a direction that it actually might make a
Totally,
difference.
you know.
And sadly, we'll get to the election later, but you can't not notice how divided.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Even in neighborhoods.
That 70 million people still voted
for this
guy, and 70 million for the other guy. Is just like,
wow. Right.
If there's going to be any progress, you guys got a long, hard road to go
totally.
because it's still split up big time.
You feel
more
like,
than ever, I think.
Do you feel like racism, let's say 8, 9, 10 years ago, was still as visible as it is right now? Like fools were straight up like being outwardly racist in public.
10 years ago, to be honest, 10 years ago for me, fuck yeah, it was, because I was in prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's probably an area that it's never gone.
It doesn't go
it's
nowhere.
Always, yeah.
You know what I mean? You still see the guy walking around with the big fucking swastika on his chest, but then you still see the Mexican dude with brown pride on the back of his fucking arms. You know what I mean? The black guy with the fucking black pride on his fucking back, and you know where that's all at.
Right.
But then see, this is the thing that gets me with people like that, is when shit happens like that. But when the drugs come, they're all fucking homies, dude. The black guy, the Mexican guy, and the fucking the white dude are in the room fucking shooting each other up. And that's the weird thing, is that drugs bring people together.
If we get anything out of this, folks, drugs bring people together. Right
in
there.
prison.
In prison. I don't know, dude.
In the streets,
dude. I think so.
I know so, dude, because I've told you stories about like the wildest, craziest, crack smoking type of cat telling me about smoking with the biggest Nazi skinhead in Denver in the 90s, dude. And it's like, how would this guy even know that dude's name? If you know, if you know,
sure. Unless they were
homied up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were, you know. Wow. And it's like he says, dude. And
great equalizer.
You know, it's kind of funny because everybody wants to keep that shit, you know. And maybe not only will it bring people together, but it'll make people a little more honest about their own consumption, and even with help with it or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm almost positive it will. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that people won't.
You know, and that's the thing, because it's either doing drugs or getting off drugs,
right?
Or bring people together, and like get their fucking mind right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, because you get the guy, you know, and he's, oh, hey bro, I can help you. I've been off dope for 10 years now, dude. You know what I mean? I know to get you started. And you're like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Unless you want to relapse, then I'm gonna wrap you later, brother. I'm gonna holler at your cousin.
But it's all, you're willing to work with whoever in those situations, in both those situations, right? You're like, you don't give a fuck about that type of shit all of a sudden. Like, you need a fix? Oh, well, I don't care, right? Or I need some help. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's a I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Do you think it's the desperation of
both of those situations? Of both of those situations.
That humbles you down to where I don't care. What you look like.
Right.
I need help.
Right. Either way. I need help.
I either need to get off or I need to get on.
Exactly.
Right.
So, right.
The reality of desperation.
Yeah.
For sure.
The colored glasses are off. I'm seeing nothing but just
the great equalizer.
And
I would say that's probably the same in like in an economic sense too. When everybody gets to be in as equally broke and desperate as everybody else.
Yeah.
Then
it's time.
Right.
We're starving to death. My kids are dying.
And you people are living.
And you people are eating fucking, telling me to eat cake.
Right.
I mean, I know that's exactly kind of be an urban legend, but still, they were still living up there pretty high.
Totally.
You know, and the folks were just dying.
Fuck your cake.
Okay. So, and now this also crosses into the LGBTQ community. Huge changes and shifts. I saw that there's openly I'm gonna mess this up.
Yeah, but in like
The gender neutral or
yeah.
asexual, whatever he was, but that was voted in as.
You gotta
as
watch
a,
your pronoun as
yeah, I
well.
know, it's fine.
But,
sorry, Jesus, still learning.
Right.
But anyway, there was a huge movement of several, maybe 5, 6, 7 that got voted in.
Yeah, for sure.
That are either of some sort in the LGBTQ
community
yeah.
for sure. And
So,
even
which is greatness.
Yeah, before like we were talking about even in movies and TV shows and stuff for kind of a second, I would say more so in entertainment than in politics. It's
Right.
been kind of creeping its way in, but if politicians really make a difference, then those people would be there to get bought and paid for.
If we're taught that our country was founded on no taxation without representation, where the fuck has that been
representation
for all this time? You know what I mean?
They don't follow nothing. Nobody.
No.
But they all want to say they.
Yeah,
Sure they
it's like the Second Amendment and all that shit. You know what I mean? And all that. You know what I mean? Everything they say, nobody should be whatever,
Right.
like chosen over color or not chosen, but you know what I mean.
All men are created
All
equal.
men are
Right.
created. Where the fuck is that at?
Except you're only worth 3/5.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not a full man. Dude, come on.
Totally.
The origin of this country, they took a sector of our population and said, you're not a full person.
You're property. Right.
And then you want to, I don't give a shit what Republican, Democrat wig. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You built your country based on that,
Right.
and you
those
you
are the
don't
people-
want to. You want to wonder why they're not ready to fucking burn your house down.
Right. And then everybody wants to throw back to that. Is that what our forefathers would do? Who gives a fuck what they would do?
Right?
That's exactly what they would do.
Right. Right. They tie us to the pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impregnate your fucking daughter. And
Right.
they got a little black half kid running around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With some plantation owners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they kill the fucking mom.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it was that
brutal
slave
shit.
shit was brutal. It was
Fuck
fucked
yeah,
up.
they
dude.
fucked up.
You know, all that shit, and they say, they didn't like black people, but the dude was sure sneaking off and
He
going
was
in the
sure-
fucking
yeah,
house
right,
and
totally,
doing
yeah.
stupid
He
shit to
definitely
them.
didn't
Right.
mind doing that.
And they're all on some get over it already. But
Right.
then that rebel flag, dude.
It's still flying.
and it's like
flying high.
get over it
Sure,
already.
get over it, yeah.
Yeah.